Hello viewers. In this video we're going to discuss about context managers in Python. Basically the context managers will allow you to allocate and release the resources precisely and whenever you want to release them. And it's an open option available in Python 2 and 3 versions. It's most widely used context manager that you see across in your Python coding is the usage of with statement. Suppose you have some two related operations that you'd like to execute them in like a couple, pair. In that case, you'll be using with. So for example, let me just create context dy. Yes, comment. We'll just use with to open files. At the same time, if you want to open the file, do some logic, perform some whatever you want to, maybe read a file or write a file or append to it, and then close the file automatically. In that case, we'll be using with open. Let's say example.txt. I don't know if it is still, if it is available in the current working directory, but still, let's give it a try. We'll be reusing it as the name. Let's say input file, maybe. And I would say right there. So what this specifically do? Let's save this file. Let me just say for example, so it's not available, I guess. So when I try to execute this context.py, now when I open this up, say that's right. So basically, we just perform a very simple operation using with statement. So now let me go back to this one. Whatever we have written here is more or less equivalent to, let's say, input so file is equal to open example.txt in write mode. So trace it out on like from where it has been inserted. I just kept this from try block, and then let me just use this finally. Make sure we're closing the file. Basically, if you are not using this with statement, then if I execute this, hold on, input file. So as got executed, and now it says hey there from try block. So this is pretty much the same what we did using with statement. So it just says that you don't have to explicitly declare a finally block. You don't have to even declare try block. It'll handle it all by itself. So when you compare it to the first example, you can see that there's a lot of boilerplate code that is eliminated, which we used in the second example. So how does this with statement taking care of all this try finally block and all? So that's what we're going to go a bit inside of what's happening with this with statement. So before we do that, let's just try to comment this out, and then I'll just implement the same with, the context manager using a class equivalent context manager. Let's say input file. We'll have to make use of object, a standard class available, and let me just initialize something. So just initializing with file element method in the sense read or write or whatever it is. So I'll just say some file object, let's say. So there are two methods I would like to introduce you if you're not acquainted already. That is enter and exit. So these two will be taking care of this automatically closing the file and stuff. So how it goes on, we'll be looking into the details now. There are there are three things that exit will take care, unlike the enter. We'll talk about them in detail in a few seconds. Self.obj close. I think this should do it. Now when I open up with this input file of example.txt, I believe the code doesn't have any syntactical errors, if I'm not wrong. Let's see. It's opening in a write mode. Let's say file 1 maybe. File 1.write example of context manager using class, just to be a relevant statement. So I saved it up, and when I try to run it again, so let's see what happened. So see this is same, this gives the same logical output whatever we have implemented by the about two examples. So what happened here is basically speaking, this exit has taken care of I just defined a class, and then with this with extension with statement I just by inbuilt called it out and then return into this file. So this if I have to split up and discuss what's happening here, this with store statement will store the exit method of the file class by default, and it calls the enter method of the file class. So the enter method opens the files and returns it, as you can see. Let's say, so if you see this enter method has this return called self.file object, which will just open up the file and returns it. And the open file is handled and and then it's passed to this function file bundle, where it was handled with this write command, which means we are just writing this data after that. And then when this dot write has been executed successfully, this with statement calls the stored underscore underscore exit underscore underscore method. So this exit under has a functionality to close that file. So apart from that, it also told that it has some things like type, value, trace back. Just in case if you're curious about it. So it now for now just says none, just because there are no exceptions passed in it. This printing out this argument also helps you to get clarified about your confusions. You may be thinking that this with statement alone doesn't have any connection with this. So, but it does have, because we are invoking this input file function within this with statement. And let's see here. I would try to open something called example1.txt, which is not existing, right? I guess it's existing or what? Oh, it is. Oh, sorry. I open it in write mode, right? So it says it's existing. So even though the file is not existing, it will create one and then it will perform the logic. In this case, write the example of context manager using class. So I try to open it in read mode, but I also, yeah, I'll just go back and delete this example1.txt. It's not there, it's pretty obvious. So now it says, that no such file or directory. But what we are really interested in here is printing out those values, right? Maybe I'll just open up in read mode and then I'll try to, yes, you got this right. So I open up a file in read mode and then I try to write it in it, write something in it. So it's not possible, right? So now my whole intention is just to pass through this enter this dunder, which is possible now because the file is existing. And then this exit mode, we just have to get this print statement done, executed. So what it says is type exceptions IO error. What is that value? And then what's the traceback object? So if you want to even dig even more deeper into it, so you can always do this. See, you understood that? Okay. The whole point is, you may have already understood that the exit dunder has 3 arguments, which is the whole reason why it'll always check for these arguments. Whenever there is an exception occurring, you'll be getting these called out. Whenever these values are none, as long as these values are none, you'll not be having any exceptions getting raised. And then whenever there are no exceptions raised, it'll just simply go and execute the so-called the first line that is closing the object. So that's how it's automatically handled. Hope it helps you guys. Thank you so much for watching this.